Folks, it's time to rewrite history. While historians still claim that the pyramids were gigantic pharaohs' tombs, Nikola Tesla has revealed their true function. Even more, the stone giants will help us make the inventor's biggest dream come true: wireless power transmission. Do you want to know what the background of this groundbreaking insight is, and why it has been hidden from us for centuries? Then you absolutely need to stay until the end, because who knows if this controversial post will not mysteriously disappear soon. The Pyramid Mystery. The ancient Egyptian pyramids are perhaps the most enigmatic structures in history. No expert knows their exact time of creation, how they were built in detail, and above all, why they were ever created. Commonly, the stone giants are interpreted as oversized tombs of the pharaohs. However, this interpretation is currently being questioned more than ever, but more on that later. Consisting of about 2.65 million tons-heavy stone blocks, the components of the Great Pyramid of Cheops once fit so perfectly that not even a piece of paper could have been slipped between them. But that's not all. Some of the massive building materials even had to be brought in from quarries that were 500 miles away from the Giza Plateau. Once clad in a radiant white mantle of Tora limestone, the Great Pyramid looked like a sparkling diamond amidst the landscape after its completion. Such a magnificent structure that still stands after thousands of years is in itself a mysterious wonder. For comparison, the lifespan of our modern concrete is estimated at just 100 to 150 years. The questions that still remain after all this time are: who really built the pyramids? Were the inhabitants of antiquity capable of erecting something of such immense magnitude? And if so, did this really happen only with the help of soft copper tools, ramps, and pure muscle power? Did the Egyptians perhaps receive outside help? And above all, what was the real purpose of the pyramids? Fortunately, there is one man who has found the answer to all these questions: the brilliant inventor, Nikola Tesla. Feel free to toss your dusty history book aside and learn the unbelievable truth about the ancient Egyptian pyramids. The universal genius. It's certain, 80% of our modern technologies, directly or indirectly, stem from the revolutionary ideas and inventions of Nikola Tesla. While the physicist registered hundreds of patents during his lifetime, we owe him, among other things, the alternating current network, the radio, the neon tube, and the remote control. It is also certain, if all of Nikola Tesla's visions had become reality, we would be living in a world today that we probably dare not even dream of. As is well known, Tesla's work did not serve his personal economic interests. No, he wished that his inventions would benefit all of humanity, and in the best-case scenario, unlimited and free of charge. Those who have delved into the genius's history know that Tesla was practically obsessed with finding ways to transmit energy wirelessly. Building on this, he envisioned in his mind's eye airplanes that no longer needed fuel, a world that was completely interconnected, and a future in which terms like war and greed for power were replaced with harmony and friendship. However, Tesla's horizon was by no means limited to his scientific experiments. Some of his quotes give a deep insight into the physicist's innermost convictions. Especially the following statement is among the most fascinating and mysterious words Tesla ever uttered. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. But what revolutionary knowledge lay behind this famous statement, and what do the pyramids of ancient Egypt have to do with it? Tesla's vision. Royal tombs, water pumps, grain storage, or ultimately huge energy transmitters. In the course of his research, Nikola Tesla is said to have asked himself whether the monumental buildings of the Giza Plateau did not have an original purpose that coincided with his dream of wireless energy transmission. The physicist realized that the ionosphere is literally overflowing with ions and free electrons. He saw the entire planet as a gigantic power generator rotating around two magnetic poles, and from which limitless energy can be harnessed. So it happened that in 1905, Tesla filed a patent entitled "The Art of Transmitting Electrical Energy Through the Natural Medium." In detail, Tesla's vision consisted of installing a series of generators around the world which would tap into the ionosphere for energy production. Because by taking advantage of the natural conductivity of our planet, one can send electricity around the entire globe, just as if it were invisible water. While the Wardenclyffe Tower famously never got beyond the status of a wooden prototype, Tesla created some theoretical designs. As the corresponding drawings show us pointy, triangular structures, they became known as Tesla's electromagnetic pyramids. But this is where things start to get particularly strange. After Nikola Tesla's death in January 1943, all his possessions were confiscated by US authorities. And even though the majority of the estate was later moved to Serbia, some Tesla files remain missing to this day. So, did the genius ultimately find a way to generate unlimited energy? In doing so, did he possibly uncover a historical truth so incredible that it is deliberately being kept from us? Profit greed versus innovation. What drives humans? Do they truly strive for good, progress, and the welfare of their entire species? Or are all these goals too often thwarted by the interests of individuals? A brief look at the downfall of the Wardenclyffe Tower is enough to find the answer to this question. Initially designed to send high-energy waves into the upper atmospheric layers to distribute their energy around the globe, Tesla first sold the project as a high-performance radio transmitter to his financier, J.P. Morgan. However, after Morgan learned of the tower's true purpose and had already invested $150,000, he immediately withdrew. The reason? If every person in the world can tap into energy uncontrolled, what is there left to make money with? The so-called current war between Edison and Tesla followed a similar vein. Although alternating current was demonstrably far superior to direct current, Edison did everything to publicly discredit and smear the innovation of his competitor. In fact, he even hired schoolboys to catch stray dogs and cats in order to publicly execute the animals using alternating current. Turning to the spectators with a feigned, concerned expression, Edison would ask, "Is this really the invention with which your dear wives should cook with at home?" Empty graves? In certain circles, there is speculation. Those who operate outside the comfort zone of capitalists and the establishment have a hard time. More than that, in truth, people like Morgan, Edison and company are said to have been just puppets of ominous shadowy figures, but that might be a topic for another video. Back to Tesla and the pyramids. Among the ranks of conservative researchers, there is virtually no doubt that the Giza pyramids were massive tombs. A glance at the countless mummies already recovered here is enough to convince oneself of the correctness of this thesis. Oh wait, there has not been a single mummy discovered documented in the Giza pyramids. Then the precious grave goods and treasures will attest to the tomb hypothesis. Oh right, all of them were stolen over time. Well, the typical hieroglyphic texts, inscriptions, and paintings we find in abundance in the other tombs of Egypt cannot be so easily stolen. What? They simply don't exist in the Giza pyramids? You see, what we have presented, a bit exaggeratedly, reflects the core of the doubts. If the pyramids really were tombs, why do they not exhibit characteristics of other Egyptian burial sites? And why did the builders place so much importance on the materials used? Why was it so important to bring 800 tons of rose granite from an area hundreds of miles away? Otherwise, was it not possible for the pharaoh's soul to ascend to the kingdom of heaven via the strange air shafts? Strange testimonies. If we look beyond the mystical and religious and view things from a more sober perspective, we see rose granite has a very high concentration of quartz. Is it a coincidence that quartz glasses serve as an excellent electrical insulator? And what about the strange reports of those people who have climbed the Great Pyramid of Giza? In fact, the climbers talk about feeling a strange tingling during their ascent to the top. Some were even sure that a small electric shock ran through their limbs. What is strictly forbidden today was still tolerated in the 19th century. After British inventor William Siemens reached the top of the pyramid, he felt an inexplicable tingling in his raised index finger, which then spread across his entire hand. Shortly afterwards, Siemens wanted to celebrate his successful ascent with a sip of wine, and immediately received an electric shock when his lips touched the bottle. And speaking of liquid, the numerous underground water channels of the Giza Plateau are also suspected of having been involved in wireless energy transmission. Hidden watercourses. Accordingly, The large volume of water flowing through the underground cavities is capable of generating an electric current referred to as piezoelectricity. By definition, we are dealing with electricity that can be obtained from natural movements using certain devices. If we quickly loop back to Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower, we see that the tower stood as an aquifer with copper and iron rods reaching down into the water. Subsequently, the electricity was supposed to be sent into the tower and transmitted through the atmosphere across the entire planet. Equipped with the appropriate capstone, the Great Pyramid of Giza could have operated this way. Just imagine how the world would be today if Tesla had completed his work. How many wars and crises might have been avoided? What unimaginable inventions might have come out of this technology? Would humanity perhaps be much further along than it is today? What do you think? Feel free to hit the like and subscribe buttons and write your thoughts on this topic simply down in the comments.